Hello, everybody. How you all doing? Can you hear me? Is everything good? How's life? How's everything? So let me see. Hello, Coping. How are you? I feel like you see that it's Discord today, so you joined. First, yes, and like everybody, like whoever is here, please do like. All right. Yes, 10:32 p.m. Hello. I'm waiting for a second because I don't see any reaction on the live chat, so I'm trying to understand. I might be alone here, which is okay, since it's kind of spontaneous, and I saw that AP is doing live at the same time, so I guess he's more exciting than I am, which is all right. I was like, oh no, I forgot that he was doing that, but you know what? I have a lot of things to do, and I'm making a lot of videos and editing and filming, and so I was like, but I missed you guys, so I'm here, and I thought we should talk a bit. So hello everyone. Hi Dylan. Hello. All right, so first things first, I want to react to Major Gaurav Arya. Just Jewish hatred, Paki man arrested for plotting 9/11 like attack in New York. I just thought I was listening to it when I was driving yesterday, and I was like, I have to react to that because it was hilarious and kind of true. So let's do that, and then hi Tag Mechir Tzadek, how you doing? Hi Mike. Hi Sam. So I'm gonna react to that, and then at 9 p.m. I also added the link to the stage on Discord. I'm gonna chit chat with you all a little bit, see if somebody's there. Hi Richard from England. And that's it. Let's go.
Pakistan.
And I know it's like an hour earlier. It's not that much earlier than what I usually do, but since it's we're talking about Major Gaurav Arya, so I'm sure that it might interest people from India a little bit more. I hope that even though it's not that much earlier, it's still better for those who are from India to join. Let me do full. I need to, how do I make it smaller? You guys see how I play around. Here. Put.
Pakistan is famous for two things: begging for money and.
That's my favorite. Every time it's like Pakistan is famous for one thing or two things, begging for money. It's so funny. It makes me like laugh every time. It's like I love it so much.
Sending terrorists abroad. India was telling the world that the Pakistanis were responsible. India was telling the US that the Pakistanis are responsible. It was the United States of America that was saying, no, actually, we'll try and talk to the Pakistanis, and obviously they have their own concerns. Over a period of 75 years, the Pakistanis have received more than $100 billion US from America. What does Pakistan have to do with Jews? There are no Jews in Pakistan, right? There are absolutely no, I think there are zero Jews in Pakistan. I mean, what would a Jew do in Pakistan? I don't know what they're teaching Pakistanis in school and college, but I have not seen any Pakistani being celebrated for being a scientist. I have not seen any Pakistani being celebrated for being a sportsperson.
I just love the Paki Pali. It's like Pakis and Palis. You can exchange the word between Paki and Pali, and you're gonna get the same truth.
You see,
it's like instead of saying like Pakis are like the only thing they're good for is begging for money, you can say Palis are only good for begging for money, and you'd be correct the same amount. So I love this Paki Pali kind of combination. And yes, after we watch this clip, I also want to share my own memories of 9/11 and what I thought at the time. Even though I was young, I had a lot of bitter bitter thoughts, and then after some time I realized that my optimism was ungranted. Ay.
The danger to America is both from the south and from the north. This is what I would like to tell the US government. You never know tomorrow. To raise money, Khalistanis could do something in the United States of America. You might stop 999, but one guy will get through. I think America should have a very serious conversation with the government of Canada. Jen friends, I'm Major Gaurav Arya and you're watching.
What's up with Canada? Are they like, everybody's talking about Britain and, the United States that might have potentially, okay, it already has an actual Marxist communist, self-appointed candidate. So people focus on that, and Britain goes to like it becoming a hellhole. But what about Canada? I mean, why is nobody talking about Canada? It looks like it enjoys all those worlds.
You're watching the Chanakya Dialogues English. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon. Pakistan is famous for two things: begging for money and sending terrorists abroad. Now, this is not the first time that Pakistanis have been caught trying to
say if you use the word Pakis, then it would be like Palis, Pakis. Interchangeable. So interchangeable.
Perpetrate acts of terror on foreign soil. They've been doing it to India for more than 40-50 years. In fact, many a time their army behaves like a bunch of terrorists. That is what they did in India in 1947-48. This is what they tried to do in 1965 when they sent people in civilian clothes armed with automatic weapons to cause mayhem inside India. It was Pakistan that was responsible for the 1993 Mumbai bomb blast and 26/11 and so many other hundreds of terror attacks all over India. And while India was telling the world that the Pakistanis were responsible, India was telling the
It's like hearing yourself talk. It's like Israel has been trying to tell the world that the Palis, listen, like there are bad news. Did anyone listen? No. Did they just keep throwing money at Palis and Pakis? Yes. Like so it resonates so good.
Telling the US that the Pakistanis are responsible. It was the United States of America that was saying, no, actually, we'll try and talk to the Pakistanis, and obviously they have their own concerns. This was the time when America wanted Pakistani help in Afghanistan, ladies and gentlemen. They wanted Pakistani bases. They wanted Pakistani drone bases. They wanted Bin Qasim port in Karachi, where they could offload serious military gear, which was then taken by road and rail to Afghanistan. They wanted Pakistani help inside Afghanistan. Pakistan received more than 35 billion US dollars in this war against terror. And I'm not even counting the other help that the Americans gave them. Over a period of 75 years, the Pakistanis have received more than 100 billion US dollars from America. And this is not to say that American NGOs have not invested in Pakistan. This is not to say that American companies have not done work inside Pakistan. All this $100 billion is just government funding. That is an equivalent private funding of Pakistan that has happened. But what is in the news after that? How does Pakistan repay the United States of America? A 20-year-old Pakistani citizen residing in Canada has been arrested and charged by the US for planning a terror attack. Mohammad Shahzab Khan, also known as Shahzab Jadoon, planned a terror attack in New York City around October 7th anniversary of Hamas's attack on Israel with the goal, quote, the goal of slaughtering in the name of the Islamic State of Iraq and Al-Sham as many Jewish people as possible, unquote. Attorney General Merrick Garland said in a statement recently, according to the complaint filed in New York, Khan attempted to travel from Canada to New York City, where he intended to use automatic and semi-automatic weapons to carry out mass shooting in support of the ISIS at a Jewish center in Brooklyn, New York. Ladies and gentlemen, this is something that I fail to understand. What does Pakistan have to do with Jews? There are no Jews in Pakistan, right? There are absolutely no, I think there are zero Jews in Pakistan. I mean, what would a Jew do in Pakistan? This is like, saying that there is a fish that lives in outer space. It is incomprehensible to anyone.
Which actually made me kind of curious about the history of Jews in Pakistan, because I'm sure it's not nil. I'm sure there were Jews in Pakistan as well. A guess. It's a guess. It's a wild guess. But I don't know their history. I don't know their story. Well, obviously it's India, not Pakistan. But it's interesting. Maybe I should check one day. What about Pakistan? Because I heard the Jews of Afghanistan. I know Jews of India, but then if there were Jews in Afghanistan and there are Jews in India, there probably had been Jews in Pakistan as well.
To anybody with a sane mind, any Jew in any Muslim country, especially in Pakistan, it is inconceivable. But here is a Pakistani man who is a resident of Canada, who's a citizen of Canada. He takes advantage of the border. He tries to cross over, and he plans a mass shooting in which he says that this is going to rival 9/11. So take automatic weapons, take semi-automatic weapons, go to New York, which is supposed to be, a place where there are many Jews, and go to a certain place, open up, kill as many as you can take. That was the plan of this Pakistani. Now, I don't know what they're teaching Pakistanis in school and college, but I have not seen any Pakistani being celebrated for being a scientist. I've not seen any Pakistani being celebrated for being a sports person, except for one odd name, one odd in a population of around 240 million, one odd person. Otherwise, there are no Pakistani scientists, no IT czars, no big doctors, nothing. What actually, comes into the limelight is one Pakistani guy, 20 years of age, who says, I want to create another 9/11. What a shame. As per this complaint, it's also said that Khan used social media and messaging apps to communicate with other members through encrypted messaging apps. Khan also used these apps to distribute Islamic State propaganda videos and literature. However, the police have so far not revealed the names of the apps that he used. Khan confirmed that he and a US-based ISIS supporter, identified only as Associate 1 in the complaint, had been planning to carry out an attack in a particular US city, New York. Khan allegedly also discussed with them how to obtain AR-style rifles, ammunition, and other material needed for the attack. During these conversations with the undercover officers, Khan is reported to have emphasized that October 7th and October 11th are the best days for targeting Jews, stating the community will surely hold some protest demonstrations on the first anniversary, and October 11th is Yom Kippur, an important Jewish festival. Ladies and gentlemen, before I proceed further, I just want to tell you
That's my favorite part, the Jewish festival. Yom Kippur is a Jewish festival. I mean, it does feel kind of festive, to be honest. People are wearing white, mingling with each other, communicate because they're bored. It is kind of festive, it's true, but saying that it's festival, I don't know. I feel like festival requires food and drinks and not starvation. I mean, it's not like 25 hours of no drinking and no eating is not that bad, but still, I don't know. I wouldn't call it a festival, just a fast. Yeah.
one thing.
Like maybe a festival with an A. So it's like a fasting festival.
This whole thing about wanting to target Jews. Time and again, a lot of people who do not know the history end up saying it is because of, quote unquote, the Israeli occupation of Palestine. It has nothing to do with the so-called occupation, because it's not an occupation at all. This is essentially Jewish hatred. And I would like to educate those who think it is not, who think it is some sort of a crazy freedom struggle that the Palestinians are undertaking. No, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a freedom struggle. This is terrorism. And this enmity goes back more than 1400 years. I don't want to say much more than that. But the fact of the matter is this hatred for Jews goes back more than 1400 years. And that is the truth of the matter. It has nothing to do with the modern state of Israel.
Yeah, thank you. Also, like the way he said it with like complete clarity, without mumbling. I feel like from what I watched, he doesn't really go into the theological aspect that much, but clearly he knows it. Looks like he knows it.
The modern state of Israel and its wars are a modern spin on this dispute. But this goes back long back. After disrupting Khan's plan of mass killing the Jews, Director of the FBI, Christopher Wray, said that, quote, the FBI will continue to work closely with our partners to investigate and hold accountable those who seek to commit violence in the name of ISIS or other terrorist organizations. Fighting terrorism remains the FBI's top priority. Though police have not revealed the name of the app or apps, these apps are under scanner by certain law enforcement agencies in several nations, like the case of Telegram. Last month, French investigators detained Telegram CEO Pavel Durov at Le Bourget airport outside Paris. Durov was questioned for 4.
I heard so many speculations about that. Also on the Russian side, there are speculations that it was like a staged arrest that he asked for, so that he would have like some support when it comes to, you know, opposing Putin or things like that inside of Russia. Because his brother is still in Russia. He's like the one who actually invented Telegram, his brother. He's a very indoors person, a very, how is it called? Like, you know, shy. So he's in Russia. So that's like a bargaining chip for potentially for Putin. So I heard also rumors that it was all staged so that he would have a way to, I don't know, support himself, his family, whatever. I didn't like dive too hard into it. I was like, I don't want to think.
4 days on the allegations that Telegram is used for child sexual abuse material, drug trafficking, and terror activities, and that the platform refused to
Yes, his brother is an introvert. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for.
share information or documents with investigators when required by law. No, you see, this entire thing about Shahzeb, a Pakistani national who takes Canadian nationality and then uses, the friendship between Canada and the US to cross the border. Now, if this man, think about this scenario, ladies and gentlemen, if this man, Mohammad Shahzeb Khan, if he was not such a loudmouth, okay, if he had just kept quiet, he'd taken the Canadian passport, if he had not discussed with anybody, especially with strangers, if he was a little bit smart, he's a Pakistani, so that's asking for a little too much, but assuming that he was smart and he said, okay, I'm going to do my work, but I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
Fine, I'll go get it, okay? I went to get it, but I went to the wrong postal place. So they were like, no, you mixed up the sniffing. So I have to go to another one, and this one is just in the middle of the main street, which is annoying. So I promise I'll do it, okay? I'll do it.
He takes the Canadian passport, he crosses the border, which is very easy, you can drive through, flash your passport, go inside America, stay inside America, form your network, carry out your terror strike. You see, the danger to America is both from the south and from the north. This is what I would like to tell the US government. So far, you think that the infiltration is only happening or illegal immigration is only happening from the south. Now, illegal immigration brings with it from the south the illegal immigration, specifically.
Yes, the more coffee I get, people, there is a link below. The less thirsty I'll be, and then the more I'll be able to talk with you guys. Thank you, Coping.
From Mexico.
And yes, I'm a genius. Thank you. The noobest girl. Is it? Yes, investor, thank you. Like, subscribe, and share this channel, y'all.
It brings with it law and order issues, issues relating to the economy, crime, and such things. But infiltration from the north, that is from Canada, can bring terrorism. And this is one case in point. So apparently, ladies and gentlemen,
I love it so much. Yeah, Canada is gonna be a terror hub. Amazing. Okay, can I like admit to some ignorance? I know Pakis, Palis, but there are also Khalistanis. What are Khalistanis?
gentlemen, as per law, the Canadian government cannot refuse anyone asylum in Canada if that person says that he's a political victim, or people are victimizing him and he's seeking political refuge in Canada or asylum in Canada. The Canadian government cannot say no. Apparently there is a law. I don't know much about this law, but this is what I'm given to believe, that there is a law like that. So tomorrow you can have a whole bunch of Al-Qaeda and Islamic State people, or people friendly to the Boko Haram, just coming into Canada and saying that please.
I wonder if they do it on purpose. I just watched this video. It was, I think, Aristotle, or way back then, that wrote down how to become a dictator, like the way that you build a tyranny. And tyrannies prefer foreigners. And I was like, oh, okay, so maybe it was all calculated. They're bringing foreign. And also, by the way, my talk with Armin, right? It's like you bring foreigners because this is the best way for a tyrannical regime to manage itself. There is a preference for foreign powers. I don't know if it's a bug or a feature.
Please take us, help us. We are political victims. And they'll write some fake letter like these Khalistanis carry with them all the time. These Khalistani carry fake passports and fake papers, and I don't know, fake visas and fake whatever.
So, okay, Khalistanis are fake Sikhs. That was the one. Okay, so I think I knew that, but it kind of confuses me because I've never associated Sikhs with something that is negative. But I guess I should go educate myself, as they say.
Whatever not, but they can't be thrown out because Canadian law prohibits throwing these guys out. And how easy it is for terrorists to come, seek asylum in Canada, stay there for 2 or 3 months, and one fine day just cross the border into the United States of America, because that is not a very closely guarded border. Because the Americans don't expect infiltration from the north. They're only expecting infiltration from the south. And the American government must understand that, you see, if so many Mexicans come, or so many other nationalities come through Mexico, law and order, yes. Drugs, yes. Pressure on the social services and your medical, infrastructure, yes, of course. But terrorism, maybe not. Terrorism will come from the north. You never know tomorrow. To raise money, Khalistanis.
Why not both? What is this cheapness? Why are you so cheap? They're gonna come from both.
Could do something in the United States of America. The Pakistanis could do. Here is a Pakistani, by the way. Here is a Pakistani who tried to replicate a 9/11 by killing all the Jews that he could find in New York. And if he had just kept his mouth shut, been quiet about it and quietly gone, and not spoken to anybody whom he was not related to, or whom he did not know for 10, 15 years, or even 5, 7 years. If he did not speak to anybody like that, kept it to himself, he would not have got caught. Just think about it, how dangerous it is. And do you think he's the only one? Don't you think there are other radicals of the Islamic State or Al-Qaeda who are trying this? You might stop 999, but one guy will get through. I think America should have a very serious conversation with the government of Canada, because national security of the United States of America starts actually in Canada. And point number 3 that I would like to make here is that, the Americans are just exposing themselves by not talking to Canada about this. Canada allows everybody to come into Canada. And Canada's importance. So for people who genuinely want a better life and are seeking economic prosperity, Canada is a good place for them, right? But what about those people who seek to do harm to the United States of America? Because geopolitically,
I don't know if you noticed, but clearly the current government in the United States seems to be on the same side as them. So, just saying.
Canada.
But it does. But to be honest, you don't need the northern border. Like, this is like you have to have a little bit of IQ to actually think about it. Like, it doesn't require any amount of IQ to realize that there is a problem on the southern border, and yet Kamala never bothered to even visit. So,
Importance is only because Canada neighbors the United States of America. Thank you very much for watching this video, ladies and gentlemen. If you like this video, press the like button, subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to press the bell icon. Jai.
yes, do what he said, but on my channel, thank you, and his too. Anyway, I just thought this talk was interesting. Why is it so easy hiding behind Jews? Like, yeah, we're gonna go do stuff to Jews. And it's like, I think like a lot of people are just like so confident that Jews are like okay target. If you want to do damage, like just target Jews, and then everybody would agree, like you'd have like 90% of the population be like, yeah, go ahead, who cares? Yeah. I think it's like this is what cowards do. Anyway, guys, I'm opening the stage up. You guys want to join? The event is started. Who wants to chat? Let's talk about the debate. My audio is much louder than the video. Really? Is it? Sorry. I don't hear you. Nobody's joining. Did you guys watch the Kamala Trump debate? I just want to talk about it and hear your impressions, to be honest. Because it was like at 4 a.m. here, so I only watched like a little bit. And also, I cannot listen to her. She's like her voice is so scratching. It hurts my mind. It hurts my brain. Yeah, it's funny. Kamala is like, it's easier to use her actual name, and when it comes to Trump, I don't know. It's like I thought about writing Kamala versus Donald to have them both, or like Trump versus Harris, but I don't know. Kamala versus Trump just felt like the correct way to go. Hey guys, all right. So I see there are 4 in the audience, but no request to speak yet. I want to hear you. Yeah. What do I think? Oh, Trump. I heard that Trump got a bit angry at some point. That's what I heard. Okay, hello. Hey, Steven. Let me invite you to speak. I know you're an American, so your opinion matters on the matter. Did you watch the debate?
Yes, I watched it last night.
So what did you think?
Oh, well, first off, hello, and I'll try to be brief so other people have a turn. Um, Kamala, honestly, she spoke better than we expected her to speak. We thought she was gonna be more like mumble, like sort of slow to talk and sort of like do word salad like she usually does. And she had practiced a lot of what she said, and
Yeah.
she came off a lot more confident than previously. Like every previous time she spoke off on camera, she just came off not confident and not a good speaker. This time, like it showed that she had practiced a lot for the debate.
Yeah,
Not that it was.
there are rumors that like she knew the questions ahead of time and she just memorized the answers. I think
Well,
it's true.
yeah. I guess I'll finish up my quick review and summary so other people can speak.
I'm so yeah.
Um, yeah,
Mhm.
Trump. He actually didn't come off better. He always sort of has the same sort of speaking tone and intensity, so it was like as expected. Where he gets tripped up is when you knock at his ego. Like he's like he likes to use he doesn't like people insulting like how popular he is. Like she insulted the size of his crowds, and he got hot about that. Like, cool off, guy. Like, it's not a big deal. And he brought up things that sounded like tabloids, but were actually real, and she called him a liar on it. And if you're like a low information voter, like most Americans, no, let me not say no, most Americans. That's not fair. But if you're a low information voter, then you're gonna think this tabloid story that Trump's bringing up is like fake news. Trump's like saying they're eating cats and the immigrants are eating cat people's pets in their driveway raw, and they're killing goose in the park. And these things are happening thanks to Kamala Harris's immigration policy. But unless you like are really connected and you've seen the video, you wouldn't believe it. So I think Kamala performed better than expected. She still doesn't have policy. She just still doesn't have like any
Isn't it
substance.
where
And
the
it's
moderators are supposed to step in and say, hey, those are two things that are happening?
no, no, they didn't have anybody to fact check. She can call him. I mean, she can call him a liar confidently, and no
Yeah,
one would ever know. There's no
that's
fact checkers.
that's
There's
what
only
that's yeah.
yeah, there's only moderators. Well, thank you for the time. I'm
Well,
gonna
thank
jump
you,
off.
Stephen.
No problem.
I feel like this is why I made this random video where I just complained about debates. I was like,
Hey,
what's the point? Hey, what's up, Pandano?
it's me, it's Noah.
Ah, I know.
I just wanted to say that Kamala looked a bit less drunk than usual.
Right? Right?
Yeah,
I've heard, yeah.
it actually made
I
sense
watched.
sometimes.
I just thought about like before the debate started, like if I wanted to debate her, like I would get drunk and very tired just to make it like kind of even. But it's cheating if she comes not drunk. I'm just kidding. Like she can come sober and she's still like. But
Dumb.
this format when you have like what like a question, then 1 minute to speak, and then you can invent whatever like facts that you want in the time, and like nobody's gonna be there to moderate you for real. Then what's the point?
And
It's like who looks better, right? This is the question. Like who looks
they
like
both
the
look terrible.
yeah
It's sad.
yeah
Is this the best America has to offer?
yeah for sure.
Like, I don't want to vote for either of them.
It's interesting.
Anyway,
Yeah, I mean, Trump is a weird speaker. What
yeah,
bothered
he
you
has,
about
he brags a lot.
the bragging part?
Yeah.
That's a. I wonder where he got it. It's so un-American thing to do.
Uh, eh,
Or at least I think.
he's a narcissist. It comes with the job
I don't know.
or the disorder. What
I
do you
mean,
mean?
she's a narcissist too, for sure.
I don't know. I just know she looks drunk most of the time.
Yeah, he's
It's sad.
like yeah, like you have two types of narcissism, like the megalomaniacs and the covert.
The what?
You have two types. Those who are like bragging, the
To
grandiose
touch
type
them?
of
Why would I
narcissist.
touch them?
Why? What?
You said touch the narcissist?
Two types.
To tax?
Two types.
Ah, two types.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
What
know.
about it?
So you have the covert and the narcissism, and you have like grandiose, like those who brag,
Oh,
and you have those who just are bitter, and they're also narcissist. It's just harder to see. All right, guys. You have
actually,
any? Yeah.
I knew a guy who was a narcissist and who was just like him. Like he bragged a lot. He was rich, so he had stuff to brag about.
I don't know if it's like,
It's very obvious to me since I know what these people are
and what
like.
bothered you about it like the most? Because to me, I was like,
About the debate.
it because I hear that I hear this like Trump is bragging and stuff, but on the other hand, when it comes to reality, like it's hard to move him, but he does move. You know what I'm saying?
Move?
Like he does
Like,
change positions. It does
oh,
like he does adjust.
yeah.
All right, but I'm gonna
Um,
let you go and talk to the next person if
yeah.
that's all right.
I think he will be better than Kamala.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway,
It's easy.
yeah. Yeah. Like,
All right.
how do I close this?
Oh, wait, Steven, that's you again. You wanted to say
Yeah.
something?
Oh, yeah. I think. I mean, I'm clear to get off as soon as somebody else raised their hands. I was hoping they did. But as far as the high, the sort of like his attitude towards speaking and his like that bragging thing, it's like a sales. It's like it's his version of like sales negotiation. He likes to bluff and use hyperbole
Mm,
to make himself seem larger than he actually is. And it's almost like a negotiation technique that he's used in his like in the business world to
yeah,
like upsell the value of like a property. You know what you do you know what I mean? It's like a salesperson's technique.
right.
And that's how he always uses hyperbole. It's not it's a lie, but it's like a lie told in a way that people want to believe it. It's like,
What is the
there's this
lie?
huge the lie is the lie is things are not things he always diminishes his flaws and he makes his successes much bigger. And that's the
Well,
lie.
why is it a lie though?
Well,
Isn't it
it's
something we always do? Did you ever
like
write a
I'll I'll
SCV?
give you an example. I'll give you an example of what he said last night. He said, if I become the incumbent president within 24 hours, I'll end the war in the Ukraine. Like clearly that's hyperbole and it's basically a lie. But it's done to like instill confidence in the audience. Obviously he's not going to end the war in 24 hours.
All
He
right, but
plans to end
what
it.
if he ends it in like in a week or a month?
Sure, that
But
it's still a
could you
lie
believe
because he
that?
did it.
Why?
Of course,
Like, how long do
I
you
can
think it
believe
would
that.
take him to stop that? Like, how long do you think it would take him to stop the war?
Realistically,
Yeah.
negotiations, it would probably take 3 or 4 weeks to ceasefire and call Putin and the leader of the Ukraine
All right, so it's gonna
together.
take a month.
Yeah, let's go with a month,
So,
three
all
weeks to a
right,
month.
so 24 hours. Is it like that much of a, is it really a lie? Because for Kamala, it would never happen with Kamala. Like,
Right.
no way it's
I'm
gonna
saying
happen.
I'm using that as an example, but of
I
course it's
know
gonna
it's
happen with
like he
Kamala.
exaggerates, but doesn't it? I don't
Yeah.
know if it's a lie. It's just an exaggeration.
Yes, it's hyperbole, and he does that, and people on his side, which I happen to be, understand hyperbole, but people who don't understand hyperbole are just thinking, "Oh my God, he's promising things he can't pull." No, that doesn't make sense to the non-thinking person. And I'm just saying that's one of his techniques to instill confidence in intelligent people. And I'm just
Yeah.
explaining why he does that. I'm not saying it's the best way to do things. I think it's pretty cool because he's selling you the idea of the war ending quickly. And I can understand that. You can understand that. But other people think of it as he's being arrogant and they get turned off by that. That's all I'm saying. And I'll jump off.
That is something I was wondering about too. Like, for example, I wanted to make a video, but I might still do it about, for example, like America leaving 80 billion of equipment in Afghanistan.
hmm
And it was like, which people are like, it's a lie, it's 7 billion. But I can tell you for sure, like after digging up, I'm certain that the 7 billion number is also a lie.
No, 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 no. He didn't say 8 billion or 7 billion.
80
He said
billion.
85 billion
Yes,
dollars.
which is the cost that was invested in support, like in building the Afghani army. Now I dug into
Yeah.
it. All right.
Hmm.
There was a lot of embezzlement probably going. And
Sure.
I saw I read an interview, like, because to me it's interesting. It was interesting. Like, is it a lie or is it not? Now, of
Oh no,
course,
it's
like, yes, like a lot of it is just like for the up, like paying for personnel. By the way, at the time of Obama, he had reported having 300,000 soldiers. That was probably a lie. There were probably 100,000 soldiers and not 300,000 soldiers. So where did this money go? I'm not sure.
so a
Like,
lot.
that's when he says like 85 billion, and then there was like, at least there is at least by minimum. Speaking of minimum, there is 7 billion. 85 billion is the correct number if you consider the money spent on the army, on building the Afghan army, which was left to be butchered. So one can argue, like, what about the personnel, like the people cost? Like, when you teach people how to conduct an army, you leave them with valuable information and they can go on and build their own militias. Is it not, does it count as money that you left behind or not? And of course, like, yeah, people don't count it because it's not equipment. But saying that you left $7 billion behind is also a blatant lie. So when I
So
was like looking into that, like, I get it. Like, when, like, I disagree with this method. Like, I would name a different number. I would say it's 20 billion because in my calculation, that's the number I came up with. I believe it's around 20 billion just from like what I gathered from open sources. But I don't
so
think saying 7 billion it's a truth, is also sort of a lie.
no,
But
no, no. The number
I
we
agree with saying 85 billion, like that throws people off too much.
like like just for clarification, they were spending $300 million sometimes a day. It's an astronomical number, but that's how much it was costing per day in some cases.
On
And
what?
on the war in Afghanistan, and the
No,
issue
you're wrong.
was
It was, no, first of all, you have the American army. That's one number, which is way bigger than 85 billion. And you have the Afghan army. The Afghan army was $85 billion.
right that the 85
Just the
billion, I think.
Afghan army. Just the Afghan army. Just the Afghan army. The American army was way more, way more.
I'm not disagreeing with you. The $300 million price tag, though, was what the U.S. was spending in that region per day, and that's go-
All
that's
right.
that's going to get us 85 billion pretty quickly over years and years and years. So
They
it
were
was
there for 20 years.
of course. So the real
Oh,
loss was really the people they left behind. Like the stories are hard. They left like their um, basically Afghani loyalists, people who were translators, people who were helping train, people who were in the consulate there. They basically burned their passports and left them. It was the human resource loss was
right.
and
So what are you saying? So what's the problem with, okay, so he says $85 billion. So what is closer to the, like, is it a lie then?
no, it's not a lie.
All right.
It's I think the loss is much greater than just the numerical cost of the equipment that was left behind.
That I agree with
It's
that.
wild.
So but that point was drilled down everywhere as, oh, look at Trump exaggerating because it's just 7 billion that was left behind, not 85 billion.
Oh, yeah.
So you agree
That's
with me. So this
Yes,
is
I
one
agree with
thing that is yours. There's like, which I get, like, I see like some like things seem unreal, but the thing is it might be real. And it might sound like very crazy, like he can end it at 24 hours. But America could if they wanted to.
Of
I think
course,
so.
of
So
of course,
so
of
so
course
the
he could.
truth, where is the lie? So like I know like it sounds like he's exaggerating, sounds like, but in reality, like he did a lot of things. He managed to move a lot of things. Like the moving the embassy to Jerusalem was supposed to happen decades ago, decades, and nobody did that, and yet Trump decided and moved it.
Yeah, we always promised and never delivered. We always promised to.
Right.
We wrote a apologies. We're too cowardly to do what we promised, and then Trump just the fucking do it, and he did it.
So here's the thing
And
I think, right? So I agree with you on one thing. If he says it can end the war in Ukraine in 24 hours, it sounds like a lie, even though it might be
yes,
truth.
yes,
Like I
that's all
think
I'm
it
getting
might
at.
be true, but it sounds like a lie. And that is a thing that he should be having advisors that be like really insist on with him on that point, which he
Sure.
might be not listening to them, you know. It's like, yeah, like I know from like from backstage, like I heard, like until for example he didn't learn about the situation in Israel himself, like he had more inclination to go towards the Palestinian side until it was like, oh wait, I'm smashing my head in the wall. But even if it took him 3 years, still it's like way more than any other, like way more. I mean, like other presidents wouldn't even budge a millimeter. So he might be like like a grandiose personality, but I don't know. It's like it's hard to.
He he's an excellent negotiator. He's the best negotiator that and chief that we've ever had, in my opinion. Politics, personality, all that off the table. If there's a deal to be made, he's the guy.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's like sometimes you have to
I,
lie just to sound believable.
yeah, it's a confidence game. It's literally a debate. It's not a fight for truth. It's a fight for
Mm,
confidence, and there's a difference. And she came. I mean, to be honest, and I'm biased. I'm biased. I'm saying this. She came out
mhm.
most. She came off in the debate most improved candidate. He came off. Um, he came off confident as usual. But he like the slam dunk at the end. You probably missed it because this is like at the end. But he literally said, I mean, he literally this I'm paraphrasing, but he was literally said like she's had 3.5 years to change things, to improve your lives. She's been part of the administration for 3.5 years. If she wanted to do these things, implement these
Yeah,
plans, she would have. Yeah. So what's changing about now? And he like dunked it on there like that. He had the closing statement and he just dunked on it at the end. But you know, it's a confidence game. We'll see what happens in the coming weeks. See what happens in the court system. Even after the election happens, this still a long road to a secure presidency for Donald Trump, and
yeah.
we all know it. We all know it.
It's interesting, you know. It's like it's like one is has like those expectations of like a serious person, and the other gets the expectations of a toddler.
Yeah, it's sexism in real time. I mean, we
I don't
everyone
think it's
knows.
sexism, to be honest. It's
No,
just
honestly, it is. Like you have
why
to
was it
realize,
not the same with Mr. What's his name, the zombie Biden?
well, see, that's what the thing is. Biden never liked Kamala Harris, but he wanted a DEI hire. He wanted a DEI hire, which is diversity, inclusion, and equality. Some junk like equity or whatever. Diversity, inclusion, and equity. DIE hire.
No, I mean
So he
when debating or talking to Biden, Biden got the same toddler treatment that Kamala gets. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Carlos, are
soft
you
question.
accepting criticism to the Lands of Judah? I accept money. Thank you, Carlos, for the donation. Yeah.
Well,
I say
I
like
mean,
you
if
cannot claim I don't know. It's like you say you call sexism, but I would say it's a false flag when you clearly Biden got the same treatment. And are you gonna say that there weren't any white men that are more competent than Biden was with his regressing old age?
no,
Do
what I
you
mean
think
when I
that
say
white men are so stupid and like Biden was?
no,
That's what are
no,
you
what I
being a
mean,
racist right now? Like, but just judging by your photo, I mean, you look like you're dark skinned. Do you think white people are stupid? Is that what you're saying?
uh, well, some white people are stupid, but that doesn't make me racist. I think the
I'm just
real
saying
truth of the
calling
matter.
sexism about it, it's like it's a lie because Biden got the same treatment and he's a white guy. So it's not that.
What I
It's
mean,
just like it's just
what I
rigged,
mean
you
is,
know.
I mean like how she got the role, how she got the VP role.
Oh
He
yeah.
literally said he wanted to hire a woman. He wanted a woman as his VP. That's what Biden said. It's not the best person.
Oh yeah, I
Not the
heard. And
Okay,
I'm sure
cool.
there
I'm gonna
was a
jump off.
black woman that was better than Kamala as well. Like
I
I'm
just wanted to
certain.
correct and say I is inclusivity or whatever.
I
That's what I think. I
yeah.
think
DI diversity, equity, and yeah, inclusivity.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, he's right. He's actually right. It seemed quite obvious. I mean, I will step into this a little bit because those who don't know, I do come from the financial realm, if you will, do the stock market and such, and we inevitably have to deal quite a bit with politics. And at this point, I think even the people we have in our community who do come from the left to some extent do agree that it's either by the manipulation of Obama that she got hired originally, but of course it played the DI card as well. But in reality, it's kind of known that Biden didn't really like her. Biden is a lot far more old school, and he doesn't like her, nor did he ever. It's just sort of something that was hoisted upon him. It seems.
Yeah, but I think Biden was the same. Like Obama and Biden are like, but Obama doesn't like Biden either. I think there was a story there. I don't remember exactly the details, but
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna lie about that one. At least Obama, you know what? The biggest problem with Obama could be such a good actor or
Obama was.
pretending just so well to the point.
I didn't like him from the first second. Like I
No
was
one
like,
did. No
no,
one
a lot
did.
of people admired him. Oh my God. I just listened to him.
No,
Like
no. Like,
the first speech I
people
heard
love
of him, I was like,
people
this
love
man is
Obama.
awful.
People
What are you
love
saying,
Obama.
Steve?
People love Obama. Like,
Right.
People
I'm not
loved
saying
him.
nobody, right? But again, those. Okay, so if you really want to look at this objectively, of course, those who love them from the get go did. But those who were kind of on the fence once they got to experience them pretty quickly were swayed off. That's why he was not able to run again.
what do you mean? Obama ran twice.
Yeah.
Again, since
He can't
he
run. He
decided to
can't
move
run.
away with
He
to
can't.
Joe.
No,
He
you're
he
limited to
can't
two
run three
terms.
times. Yeah, he can't.
No,
If he would have
he
ran
was he
again,
was
he
Yeah, it's
he
right,
ran
limited.
again.
right. Forgot
Yeah.
about that one. But
No,
again,
he's
he could have
admired.
run.
Come
He
on.
could have run this time
This
around.
awful
It doesn't
human.
matter. He doesn't need to. That's the thing. You're going too far with this. He doesn't need to. He's the one manipulating everything behind Biden. It's quite kind of obvious. So
Uh, I don't think he's the
he
only
is the
one.
Democratic Party and has been that for a long time. Which again, really in my mind, plays really well into the idea of the DAI hire of Kamala. Right.
I don't like Obama as well because I don't like that I mean, his wife at least could claim to be an African American. I don't like that he claimed to be one. It's weird, I know, but he's
There
like
was this whole that he was
because
born
like
in a while or something.
no, it's not that. It's because like I think when like there are things you have to overcome if you're an if you are a descendant of slaves, then it's hard to get out of the mindset that slavery puts you in. So when people manage to get out of this mindset, it's impressive. But when like a privileged boy from Kenya that is privileged from both sides is like pretending like to, it's not the same. He didn't have to go through the same mental hardships, of overcoming the
I mean,
generational trauma that slavery causes.
as a black person, Rebecca,
Mm.
I 100% agree. I 100% agree with you. But it's hard to say that and not sound like you don't like Obama just because his color, right? But the truth of the matter
But
is,
it's
he was
not.
like
It's not about
he
color.
was
It's
raised.
about your
Yeah,
experience.
he was raised. Yeah, he was raised abroad. Like, he was raised abroad. He wasn't raised as a, and he didn't raised with the African American experience. He was a first generation
Yeah.
um, American who had African ancestry, and he had. I mean, he literally just was well educated, and he happened to have a skin tone that was pleasing to a lot of people.
Right.
That's
It's
it.
like,
He's yeah. His wife's black, an American, a Native American, and he's an African American.
yeah. So,
He's first generation African American, so to speak.
yeah, Michelle Obama, by the way, like, she does have the history that justifies it, right? Like, she could say that about, like, but not him. He doesn't have that. He was always privileged. You know what it reminds me? Did you? So Jordan Peterson just interviewed a black professor who what's her name, Claudine Gay, the former president of Harvard. She heavily plagiarized from her, and she was a proper African American, a family that she had to overcome the consequences of being descended of people that were traumatized by the slavery experience, and she overcame all that, and then just to get plagiarized by somebody who might have a dark skin, but she's from a rich family from Haiti, right, who never who bought her way, and like that's not this it's not the same. It's just crazy. It's like, it's not like,
Well,
I don't know what her
to be
family history is in Haiti, but like, it's just like, just because somebody's black, just like, because it's like, for me, what I understand is like the African American community is like, there is a real consequence of being traumatized in a way that like you've been taught to believe and to think like a slave, and that like passes from generation to generation. But it's different if you're
cor-
just a privileged black person. It's not the same. I don't know.
correct. The dinner table discussions in Obama's home were not the same as what happened in the black community. You're right,
Right.
but that that wasn't as important as just his politics and his policies. Like the fact of the matter is, he was so charming. It didn't matter what he said; people would still follow him. I'm going to leave the stage because somebody else is
Yeah.
volunteering. But good
Yeah.
talk,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah. Hello. Hello, Doralic tribes. How you doing?
Hey, hi, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, like
Hello.
I just wanted to say like in regards to like like I just wanted to say in regards to all this race stuff, like it's just too divisive, and like the way I look at the American system is that it's too divisive, like mentally, because there's too much focus on the past, like, and people
But the
use that for
past
political.
matters. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah, of
know,
course
I
it
know,
matters. Yeah, of
I
course it matters. But I'm
understand,
just
but
saying it
it's
should
not
shouldn't hold you back.
fair. Because, okay, so here's the thing. Once you get caught up in a certain mindset, like, it matters in a sense that, like, just like, how do you get people out of that mindset? I think that's all. Like, but not, but just it.
I think
I don't know.
that depends on the mentality of the people. Like for example, take for example my people, the Hungarians. Like we were even about 150 years ago, like we were under the Habsburg Empire, and we were serfs, and like we hated each other so much to the point that we actually planned on committing a full-blown genocide against one another. It was in 1866 or something like that, and we hated each other so much that we were literally like the Hungarians were like, okay, we're gonna march to Austria, we're gonna march to Vienna, we're gonna burn it to the ground, we're gonna wipe the Austrians off the map. Likewise, the Austrians were like, well, we're gonna march to Budapest, we're gonna wipe the Hungarians off the map because we hate each other. That was like the typical, literal boiling point, because like we were under the Habsburgs as well, like we were serfs, etc. The hatred and the division was enormous, but eventually, in the end, like we managed to put that to the side
Yeah,
because
but
of
that's not
Empress
the
Elizabeth.
same.
Like, no, but like I'm just trying to say, like, despite what happened, with between us, like we still look at each other till this
It's
day
not the
as like
same.
brothers-in-law.
It's not the same.
So
I also don't like this mindset that you look at color, because the Slavs had a similar experience, which I talked about like a little
yeah, I
bit.
know.
Like the Slavs were also slaves. No, but I mean,
Yeah,
like when it comes to
that's
the
what I'm
United
saying. Yeah, that's what I'm
States,
saying.
is like those
Yeah.
who are. Yeah, but like I don't know. Just it's not.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, there are certain people who were in Central Eastern Balkan Europe who were enslaved for centuries, and some of them do have enormous resentment towards a particular group, that happened to enslave them at one point of the time, and like, but others they just sort of move on. Like for example, take for example Poland and Romania. They used to have sort of a resentment towards one another because of some border dispute that happened in
Yeah, but I'm
before
sorry. It's
World
not.
War II. But now it's like, well, that was back then, and now it's like, well, we do business with each other, so why
I'm
bother
sorry.
hating?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't think it's the same, and also it's not America, and we're talking about America right now, so I don't want to diverge.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to.
Yeah, I get it, but I don't think it's the same.
Yeah, but like even with the
No,
stuff
I
in
don't believe in
America, it's
reparations either. By the way, I say seven
yeah,
or something like that.
neither do I. Neither do I.
No,
Like, it's a
there
waste of
cannot be
time. Like,
reparations. It's a waste of time. The only thing that's important here to me is what I think is like just to understand how to get out of the cycle, right? That's it.
well, it depends on the individual. Literally, it depends like on the individual if they're going to forgive those who hurt them in the past, and then
No,
make sure
no,
the
no,
hatred
no.
and the
There is
resentment's
no,
not
there
passed
is no,
on.
no. It doesn't work that way. And one second. Okay, let me. There is a kush. Hello. Wait. Hey. Wait 1 sec. Kush. Somebody added. Hello. Can you guys not hear me?
Yes, we can, but they're just not speaking yet.
Oh, I see. All right.
All right. Well, if they're not speaking, just invite. Yeah, just make invite other people to.
Right there.
Hello.
Hey.
I just wanted to add
Mm-hmm.
that all over the world, people need to learn Jewish history and Jewish culture, because our culture, we're not victims, even though we were victimized so many times in history. And people need to learn from that to just move on, pick yourself back up, and get good.
Yeah, I mean, but we had to go through 40 years in the desert and then 2000 years in exile to get out of this mindset.
No,
Yeah. It's not
I
wasn't
mean,
easy.
40 years in the desert, fine, but
40 years
we,
and then 2,000
we
years. Why didn't we go back straight to Israel and reestablish a state?
because we're stupid. I don't know.
Because we were, yeah, exactly. Because we were stupid. It took us that
No,
long to
but
get out of
listen,
the mindset. It took
all
that
over the
long to get
world,
out of the mindset of slavery ourselves. It's I wouldn't judge others.
but we thrived everywhere we went,
It's not
even though we were a
thriving if you have
minority.
to only have one generation of comfort before you have to run away. By the way, Michael Fedman, thank you, Rebecca. Yes, the Slavic people are slaves, and we were treated like crap when we first came to America. Yep, definitely.
You know, I mean, they can wait 2,000 years to do that,
I mean,
but
it wasn't
why
2000.
not now?
It's a fake exaggeration, but
Yeah, but they can do it now. They can just look at us, and we went
true.
through a lot, and we're still kicking, and we're not victims. And yeah, we came from the Holocaust. Okay, we went from the Holocaust, and we built this nation from nothing. So people can build themselves from nothing. I know a
But
guy
it's
who
not
was
from
homeless
nothing.
when he was a
It's
child.
that's a misconception. From nothing is when you
What do you
get
mean?
stripped out of your identity as well.
But they're
Like
not
just because
stripped
we
from
were
their
like you take
identity.
everything from you doesn't mean you don't know who you are.
So you're
But because
saying
a
they
lot of
don't know who
kids,
they
a lot
are?
of children never, a lot of people that were too young or were taken, they never recovered, they never managed to go back to being Jewish, ever.
No, I'm talking about the black people, the Afro Americans.
Yeah, but they were stripped away from everything,
But
including
they've
their
been
own
here
like
for
identity.
hundreds
Like
of
they don't know
years.
who they are.
So
But it's the thing is like yes, they like uh there is a danger in building an identity that is too shallow. And I think it's like but it's like it's just something that needs to I agree with you. Yes, there are ways out. There are ways out. But I'm just saying that like it's not the
but they do have
same.
like cliques, like they have the
Like
Hispanics
why do
and they
you
have the
think there
black
is the
people.
Hebrew, you know, the Hebrew, like the Hebrew Israel, like the Hebrew Israelites, like the black people who try to claim that they like why do they have to do that? Like why do they try to take away like the Jewish history and claim it as their own? Because they
Who?
were taken like the Hebrew Israelites, like the Americans, the black Americans that like really believe that the story of like the this our story is their story.
Are they not connected? I mean,
No, they come from West
their blood?
Africa, and the Africa is vast. Like it's really ridiculous. They're not even East African. They cannot claim that they have any connection to the story because it's also like it's also not like it also shows like their a lack of understanding on of how vast and big Africa is, and the fact that how
So, but
far
they
West
could
and
have
East
had like a
Africa are.
community that migrated there
I mean,
before they were
yeah,
taken as
but you
slaves.
they cannot claim no. But that's like a makeshift, like that's a make believe. It's not the real history. It's hard when you don't
I
have
mean, yeah, they need to build
it's
an
different.
identity.
Yeah, like there needs to be an identity, but their identity cannot be based on their color on the color of their skin.
Obviously, it's a stupid concept.
Yeah.
We don't
Like
see
it
color
like
here.
the fact that the black identity, like American black African, like was is based on their skin is a fallacy because there were white slaves and there are black people who were never slaves, and that's not fair. For like this is not the same,
Hmm.
right? Like it's not like everybody can be painted with the same brush. It's
Yeah,
like using skin color is like such a unhealthy way of differentiating
yeah,
between who
definitely.
was a slave and who wasn't.
definitely. Um, but yeah, they need to take inspiration from us
I mean, to an
because we're pretty
extent.
cool.
Don't
What?
don't sell like there are enough people who take away our culture and try to claim it as their
No,
own.
I made
I know, but
learn
like
uh,
I know what you're saying, but
yeah.
still. Yeah,
Anyway, okay, I'm gonna let someone else speak.
right. Hello, somebody. Is there anyone here? Hi.
Hi, hi, Rebecca.
Hello.
How are
Hello,
you?
how you doing? Good.
I'm fine. Here is the thing about this DEA or reparations or some. As an Indian, I will say you one thing. We have reservations for our backward castes and scheduled tribes for over 70 years. This what this creates is a group of people who are elites in the society from that branch of community, and they will keep this system forever. They will keep the other people in the same group weak and poor. They will use them again and again. This is what we call vote bank politics in India. The sad part is the US is heading towards the same destiny.
Yeah, I
That
agree.
is that is what I want to say.
I
Can you
I
understand me?
100% agree with you. Yes. All right, let's do like a
And
couple of yeah, I just
another thing about Kalistani. Kalistani is a CA asset. CA
is
and
a
MI6 created Khalistan by they want to divide Punjab so that they can cut access to Kashmir from India. That is a sketch of MI6, CA, and Pakistan ISI. That is the
oh,
plan.
okay. I need to I'll have
Even
to
now, the state,
mm-hmm.
even now they are funding it,
You guys,
and
whoever doesn't
more
speak, can you
the
exit the stage, please? Because I don't know how to do that. I managed to do it before, but I forgot how. Thank you. All right, thank you, Nitish. I'm sorry for that I was cutting you off. I really don't want to get off topic. And Kush, can you?
okay,
So just one or two
okay.
more, and I think we're gonna finish for today.
Hey, how have you been?
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Uh, about yesterday's debate, I saw it, the entire debate. I think Kamala dunked it on Donald. As much as I don't like it, but she really did well compared to her earlier times. She controlled
Mm-hmm.
her cackle. She was not laughing, and she was getting under the skin of the president. That is true.
Cool.
But
Okay, I like that you brought up the actual subject that we're supposed to talk about.
and I also think that the debate stage was heavily skewed against him also. It was
Yeah,
a debate that was presented as one on one, but in reality it was 3-on-1.
yeah.
The moderators were on the side of Kamala only.
I wonder how it feels like to debate like that.
I think it was seeing the reaction of the president, it was feeling like as if he was getting smoked and he was getting angrier and angrier with each and every answer. He was getting cut off in between. He was not answering the question properly.
Yeah.
So that is what I felt.
No, thank you.
And about the 9/11 stuff, it is a
Mm-hmm.
sad occasion. But we in India have experienced it before, like Mr. Major Arya was saying, that we have experienced 91, 2001, the 2008 bomb blast, and many of such in between.
the continuous bombing of Kashmir, of thousands of soldiers there as well.
All right. One last,
I don't
there's
think it.
Colonel Flink. Do you have something to say? Or I'm gonna close up the stage. And because, thank you, Kush, because you reminded me something about 9/11. I promise I'm gonna tell my own experience with 9/11 and I didn't do it, so I'm gonna do it. And then I'm gonna close up.
Thank
All
you
right.
for having me.
Thank you, Kush.
Have a nice day.
Flink? Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Super. So I'm a U.S. expat. I live in Eastern Europe,
Oh,
and I've been
amazing.
out of the States for about 13 years. And I remember watching 9/11. I saw the second plane hit, and the moment that I saw that, I knew that the world had changed. But I didn't really understand. It's taken many years to really get my mind around it. And to get more to the point on the current presidential debate, the way I see it is that if you really want to understand what you're looking at, you have to look at the donors, what corporations are ruling the function, and that kind of tells you what U.S. policy looks like. Otherwise, I just think that they were just props, and Harris and Trump are just effigies to be either burnt if things go wrong, or if things go status quo, keep us distracted. That's kind of my basic assessment of it.
Yeah,
It doesn't.
the same for me. Like, I feel like there's someone in the strings from behind the shadows, and like basically they use Biden or Kamala to act on their behalf, to do their bidding, and
I
Trump just
literally
sees
said that
some kind of an
earlier.
obstacle.
I literally said that earlier. We all know who's. I mean, Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi. You know, we all
Yeah,
know
like
who's behind the scenes.
yeah, no,
But
like
for me,
that's pretty much the way it is. Like,
but for me, the reason why I joined this channel, and I've been consuming a lot of domestic and foreign content creators, and so I've seen the left, I've seen the right, and then I really wanted to get into the mindset of people who actually live in the conflict from within Israel, not the occupied area, but Tel Aviv. I've worked for a couple Israeli corporations in the past as a freelancer, so I've had good connection with Israel. But for me, after October 7th, it was like a mask off moment. I just watched it every day. I've been keeping up with it every single day. And, I've revisited Chomsky, Finkelstein, Khalidi, Ian Poppy, all the guys on the left, all the guys, and now I've done the guys on the right. And now I'm trying to find some balance because, it's important to understand and resolve conflict. And, it's so polarizing because lies and it's wrapped in some truths. And so for me, it's kind of a learning process. And that's why I follow your channel, Reb, is because I'm trying to get into the mindset of what it's like to live under the gun, even though I know that watching Telegram, and I've followed the IDF channels where they just show horrific. I mean, no wonder TikTok is being banned in the States, and no wonder Telegram CEOs being arrested, because people that the real interest behind all this shit, they're losing control of it. They've got to lock it down, which is kind of, I expect eventually that we're not going to be able to have this type of assembly. It's going to be shut down, like Max Blumenthal, Chris Hedges, these guys that I've followed. I've heard their side of the story. Now I want to get the other side. So that's really what I'm here to learn. Because I saw your critique on that Motormouth Destiny. I watched him and Benny Morris debate
Yeah, I don't
Um,
know. Like, people don't understand. Like, Benny Morris says it himself. Like, he's considered far, far left in Israel. And like, and he admits that. He
yeah,
says
well,
it. He says it, and it looks like people don't understand it. Like, they don't believe him. Like, he's genuine. Like, the man, I listen to him. He's an honest person. He knows he's a leftist, and he says it, and he
yeah,
declares it. Like, he's considered far left. And yet, like,
yeah.
it sounds like people like think that he is some sort of a person that is in the middle,
Uh,
but no, he's like a far left person.
yeah, Finkelstein.
Now Finkelstein is, I don't know what he is. He's not on the map. He's like that far off.
And I don't have the luxury time right now. I wish I did to, apply the methodology to look at all the narratives and try to get to the facts and then just
No,
lay
it's
it
not
out
that.
straight.
Like,
Like,
when I say like destiny, when he talks to somebody like Benny Morris, he feels like he's done his due diligence, but he hadn't, because he only heard the farthest left, most left view inside the Israeli society.
I thought
And
Gideon
and
Levy would be more on the far left, than Morris. Gideon Levy at Haaretz.
yeah, but
I
Gideon Levy
mean,
is a sell-off. It's like he's just it's like he's being paid for it. It's like it's a
yeah,
different
this is
scale.
the thing.
It's on the psychopathic scale. It's like Finkelstein.
Yeah, yeah.
Like they're
Well,
they're
I
out of the
think,
game, you know. They're not even in the map on the map.
well, yeah, this is the slippery slope that I'm trying to understand. So I'm gonna keep following
Yeah,
your stuff and yeah,
my
but I'll make comment. Go ahead.
yeah, good. No, I don't know why a lot of Destiny followers did not understand what I was getting at. Like, I just said, like, if you come to Israel, you need to, you cannot, like, don't debate. Just, if you come somewhere, come and learn how people think. Like,
That's why people are
Yeah,
supposed to do
like,
their research
it's the
before they
same
go
way
to.
with Arabs, right? You don't know what Arabs think like unless you shut up and listen and learn the way they speak. They have a very convoluted way of communicating with each other, which you need to learn and to understand. Like, you will never get a straight answer from an Arab ever on anything. They will always use euphemisms,
yeah,
but it's a
yeah.
cultural
I think
thing. So
yeah.
you
This is
are
the part where I'm at a
like
disadvantage. Like you're there in the line of fire, and so as an outsider, I want to be able to like understand through your eyes and be able to communicate to people that are on my side or my side of the world that just don't know. I want to be able to say this is what it's really like. Like
but
this
it's
is like when
beyond
you go to
that.
yeah, but if you don't know what it's really like to be there,
No,
and
but
your
it's
government,
beyond that, because it's not only the facts that people don't know. It's also the different, like the fact that you look at facts differently depending on your culture.
yeah, I know that part. I get that completely. I mean, my wife and I have gone round and round about Collingwood and how to look at facts, and so you know, I'm in a kind of a privileged position. Um, but for me, this current phase of the conflict has really kind of been a wake up call for me to pay attention because, like, for most of my life, I just figured, the State Department, they're going to take care of it and they're going to get it resolved in the UN.
Mm.
But this was just over the top. So that's it. I feel it's my responsibility to understand it, and when anyone confronts me or wants to talk about it, I have something, ground truth that's like corresponds one to one as close as possible, absent having actual experience. And I'm not a Douglas Murray. I don't want to go to the combat zone. I've got responsibilities and kids to take care of. I have my life to live. Um, but it would be nice to think that this is going to resolve and there's going to be some justice in the end, and it's not just going to be a complete massacre, if that makes sense to you. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't believe
is
that,
it?
but sure. No,
I
but
don't think
it's
it's good
like,
for Israel.
but that's the thing. You cannot apply. You choose what to die for. I always say, do not confuse. Jews are crazy too. Jews are
Yeah, I'm
crazy.
sure.
No, because listen, to stay Jewish, even though it's so easy to convert to any other religion and hide your identity, but stay Jewish
Yeah.
and choose to die for it takes a certain type of thinking and personality. And it's like you cannot think that you can tell us that we should do something like that because Jews would rather die in certain cases where you would not. Because you need a certain kind of a mindset. And when this is like, Jews are crazy too. It's not just like Jews are also insane, okay, and different. And that means that they would rather die than not live by their principles.
Yeah,
So an American that
think
is
that's
coming and says like, why don't you do this and that? Like that would be better for you. Like you, when you like you like seriously, like I know Americans, like you don't understand the mindset of I'd rather die. Like which is crucial. Jews are like that
yeah,
too. I always
no,
say that
no.
like Arabs are crazy, right? Are willing to die, but Jews are willing to die too. But it's just different things.
Well, I think there's some truth to that in terms of where you're at in society. And to give you a good
No,
example, you look at all
we
these
could
Arabs.
have. You know how we could have solved this problem like a long time ago? We could all have
Yeah,
converted to Islam, and then there would have
ah,
been no, easy.
that'd be
If
so
Israel
boring.
would
That's so
go out,
boring.
if Israel would declare itself as an Islamic state tomorrow, conflict solved. Seriously.
Or if all the oil dried up in the Middle East, it would probably be, a non-starter for U.S. interests. Because I think it's really about the oil and the minerals, and U.S. just uses Israel. I mean, it's well
Yeah.
documented. The strategy. I don't think most Americans really understand what's going on in terms of like the historical record of U.S. foreign policy. Most people are busy just trying to pay the bills in the U.S. Like Sheldon Wallen he wrote a book about. He was a famous economist who writes about this process where you're working yourself to death. You don't have time to be political, and this has probably been by design because the investor class, according to like Mark Browning at Watson University, talks about this. They just pull the money out because it's just since the 70s and the Volcker memo, they've just pushed down the New Deal, reduced taxes, and they cut all the entitlement spending. So it's kind of when you like look back at it, I think what's going on, like with us in Ukraine, we want the stuff in the ground. We want the minerals, not to give it to the Chinese or the Russians. And when it comes to the Middle East, it's just the oil, and everything else is just like a distraction, which is horrible because people are dying. And I just feel disgusted about it, and I wish I could, do something about it. And the only thing I think I can do is just try to be clear and help people understand it, so that when the time comes to do something, you do the right thing. And like, I've been invited to come to Israel and work and live there, and it's like, how can I do that if it's going to be going to war with Lebanon and Iran? And to get back to my other point, I think what's going on when it comes to dying for your beliefs, that depends on where you're at in society. Because I think the rich don't believe in shit. And you look at all these Arab countries that have been bought off by the U.S., they just don't want to upset the table. Even Iran, they just want to like keep their privilege, and yeah, they tell their populations, yeah, the evil Jews and the horrible evil America,
Clank,
but they
Clank, if I
don't
can
believe
Clink,
that
if I can
shit.
interrupt you there for half a second, I don't think what Rebecca was trying to say is that you guys are no less, that you're not willing to die. It's just that Americans were never actually placed in that place where you have to actually fight a war that is about your actual survival. At the end of the day, you guys do deploy elsewhere. You do have fights that have to do with you, but you've never been at that existential war yourselves. Of course, we do understand you
Yeah,
all will die for it.
yeah,
It is a bit of a different
yeah.
circumstances. I think.
I
Sorry for
I
interrupting.
know
Go ahead.
veterans. Yeah, I know veterans that just stone cold killers that have been through shit. So yeah, it's not, if Americans have to lay down the law, we're going to ask them, we're going to dare them to pick it up. And if you pick it up, you're going to find out where the law is at. But right now, America's kind of like in an interregnum. We're not like ready to go just smash everybody that doesn't agree with our point of view. And I think John Schierheimer talks about this, like these spheres of influence, realpolitik. I think we're kind of like splittering out, and we need to kind of pull back and just protect our allies, and try to deal with the BRICS initiative and getting all these countries wanting to get off the
The
SWIFT
BRICS will never
system.
happen. Forget about it.
I don't know.
It will never happen. We're not going into finance here. If you want to join later up, I shouldn't be plugging myself here, but again, that's not the place. But the BRICS will not happen. Just be logical.
Well,
yeah, I'm not going to deviate, but it's that part not going to happen.
Yeah, I work in capital markets too, so I understand where you're coming from. But it's still, there is a global effort because of what happened to the Russian reserves after the Ukraine invasion. I mean, that was really stupid. Now, of course, we're using that money to, I think, probably bankroll the fight, and that's cool because why not? Why not use Russian money to fight the Russians for Russian aggression? But yet again, you look at, well, maybe we were in this long-term, Brzezinski iron rings of containment bullshit, and then of course all the mineral wealth in the dirt. So it's kind of like a lot of shit wrapped in lies within lies. So it's, and I'm an American. I got to pay taxes into that. I'm not really cool with all that.
All right, guys, your speech is very interesting, but I think I'm gonna wrap it up and say goodbye to this
nice
page.
connecting.
Thank you. Come again.
Yeah, no.
Come again.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Or somebody else is coming, but I think I'm gonna wrap it up. So I'm gonna.
All right, Rebel.
How do I close this?
Gotcha.
How do I end stage? All right, I did it.
I have no.
Oh, okay. Hello. Okay, guys. All right. So my own 9/11 experience, and then I'm gonna wrap up. Is well, I was young, but I remember like I came down the stairs, and my dad was watching the TV, and I just watched it, like, did a plane hit the building? And it was like, yeah. And then another plane came, and it was clear like it was a terrorist attack. And so my child me really hated that how Americans look down at me because I got to spend some summers there. I mean, maybe one, I don't know how many, but I already got an impression. And I didn't like it because first of all, like, life goes on. And the other thing is, like, you don't understand what we're dealing with, like what it's like. So I remember saying, like, okay, now, and I thought now they're gonna understand. Like, that's the naive me. And the naive me realized how wrong I am super fast, because the moment I heard that Bush said that Islam is the religion of peace, my alarm bells went like, I was like, oh, this is not gonna go the way I hoped it's gonna go, where it's like, oh, we understand now, we understand what we're dealing with. No, like, the moment he said that, because I didn't even know what Islam was. Not really. I just understood, like, intuitively, but just from seeing it from the side, that it's something that looks bad. And so anyway, but I already had, like, this thing is like, I when I was like, I had this instinct and said, I don't think nobody would ever say that Judaism is the religion of peace or Christianity is the religion of peace. So why a religion that looks sketchy as AF would get that title? And then I was like, that's gonna go the exact opposite direction of where it should have been going to. And there's gonna be zero understanding of the area. It's gonna be complete BS, and my hope was shattered right away. That's my experience. Yep. All right, y'all. Thank you all for being here. Good night.